Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about Trump's latest filing and the fight that is shaping up in the court of Eileen Cannon over the request by Jack Smith for a limited gag order. Now, this all comes out of Trump's completely false, misleading whopper of a suggestion that when the search occurred in Mar-a-Lago, the federal government, including basically at the order of Don Joseph Biden, wanted to use deadly force on him and take him out. So wrong, 8 ways from Sunday. First, as they had confirmed, he wasn't even there when they did the search, but much, much more clearly, the little snippet he is referring to is a circular you give to agents before every search. For example, was given before there was a search in Joseph Biden's house for documents that tries to limit the use of force, and only in certain instances, which Trump takes as a permissive to do in certain instances, and something special about him to take him out. So really, Merrick Garland responded immediately in a way he wouldn't normally do, saying this is extremely dangerous. And it is extremely dangerous. It makes all of Trump's followers think that when the federal government comes to do a lawful search, they're coming in guns a-blazing to take you out. And that's exactly the situation that can result in tragedy and bloodshed. Moreover, it may or may not be connected, but we talked last week about an arrest that was made for a guy who was torqued up by Trump and did a long, vile, threatening, really nasty voicemail to a Baltimore agent who had worked on the Hunter Biden case, followed up with 3 either texts or emails, and just threatening, nasty as can be, dangerous, really dangerous, which is why the guy's been arrested and maybe looking at 10 years. And that's always the issue with Trump, is he'll say these things completely indifferent to its effect on his followers. And speaking of indifference to what Trump does, this motion will be before the good judge Eileen Cannon, who will. That fact infuses drama in something that would be completely undramatic. The kinds of rules of engagement for gag orders have been well worked out in other of Trump's cases, and especially the January 6th case, where a D.C. Circuit unanimous opinion very methodically laid down the lines of what you can do and what you can't do, and in particular made clear that Trump could be barred by a gag order from doing anything that could prejudice a current trial or endanger the safety of witnesses, to include, obviously, FBI agents. And Jack Smith was very aware of this when he filed the motion pretty promptly after the totally crazy tweet by Trump. He immediately moved for a gag order, as he was supposed to do. He reached out for the defendants to get their position. This was the Friday before Memorial Day. And they opposed, and he put that in a footnote. And so Cannon's reaction to this pretty exigent situation, the attorney general is out there saying there's a real emergency, this is extremely dangerous and the like. They move very quickly. She slaps the DOJ down for not having a full, completely recitation of Trump's position, so that the meet and confer, she thought, was too summary, and she denied the motion, boom, outright, completely indifferent to the stakes and the risks, and just slapping around the DOJ, who then, did it right, reached out to Trump, and then listed a longer statement saying exactly that they dispute. And that's where we are now. She's taken her sweet time, and she has Trump filed his response last Friday the 14th, and she has set this for a hearing on the 24th or 25th, along with some other motions. Now, this would be so straightforward and so undramatic, but there you go. It's Eileen Cannon, and who the hell knows what she'll do, because Trump comes in. Remember what we're talking about. That is the predicate for this request for a gag order. Just total false trashing of the FBI agents involved in the case. And Jack Smith has asked for something that's absolutely, kosher and has already been blessed by several other courts, but most importantly, the DC Circuit. He may not talk about and criticize FBI agents in a way that reasonably and foreseeably and directly could subject them to danger, significant, imminent, and foreseeable danger to law enforcement agents participating in the investigation and prosecution of the case. That is so tame and so circumscribed. But Trump comes in and completely distorts it, says that this is Jack Smith's attempt to censor free speech, and it is outrageous. It is a really over-the-top polemical 20-page brief where he says this is basic, core, free expression, etc. And once again, the deep state is just trying to take away his rights to free expression. Again, the free expression would be to lie and say, the agents here use deadly force. That's what prompted the whole thing. And you would think it's all handled, and in other courts it would be, by what's already been determined here. That is to say, if it's reasonably foreseeable and imminent and goes to the witnesses in the case, which is exactly what he's asked for. So wouldn't cover, say, Baltimore. It can be suppressed. And Trump, his whole analysis is wrong-headed. He's making it seem like some core First Amendment issue. He is a prisoner. Remember, he's a defendant and he is released under conditions. That's a game changer. And it means that the court can impose conditions, and their number one lookout. The DC Circuit's made clear they need to be, attentive to the First Amendment concerns here. But what they're doing isn't about suppressing speech. It's a different governmental interest about protecting the integrity of trial, protecting the safety of witnesses, protecting witnesses' willingness to participate in the first place and not be cowed as they would be in a third world country, controlled by mob bosses as opposed to the government. So it's a whole different interest. It's not a First Amendment analysis, that's for starters. And second, the characterization of some kind of core suppression of political speech is all wet. And we know it's all wet because many, many courts already have told us that. So end of story. See you later. No, just kidding. Can't say that because it's Eileen Cannon. So who the hell knows what she'll do, what she'll order up, how she'll limit it. And we already know, because it's been over 2 weeks, that she's pretty unconcerned about the emergency situation, or the at least exigent situation that caused the Jack Smith to come in quickly. Right now, she's done nothing except a leisurely receipt of papers and an intention to hear the matter in another week. And, in trying to consider what might she do or say, it's just hard, because you never know what frolic or detour she'll make that's completely separate from the law. Now, we do have the situation here that a violation of release, so at least normal conditions of release, if you don't give the government what they want, they can appeal. And I think it's going to be the same for failure to modify conditions of release. So she's got to be careful, because if she's cavalier or just lawless, that would be an occasion to bump it up to the 11th Circuit, move to recuse her, etc. So point number one is she hears it on the 24th, and who the hell knows when she decides it. But even though she might be, otherwise a strong risk of just, doing something crazy on Trump's behalf, she knows that she needs to be careful to protect her jurisdiction over the case, and she probably will be. But we start so upriver with a situation that should be on the papers and take her an hour because the law is already there. Instead, it's a hearing that who knows what she'll ask for and who knows what she would otherwise do. But for this constraint, and even with this constraint of a potential reversal and motion to recuse above. So there you have it. Straightforward everywhere else, but the Southern District of Florida in Eileen Cannon's courthouse. So it's a little bit up in the air, and it is a dangerous situation if he continues to, work up the crowd in a way that inflames murderous rage, as he's done toward people who worked on this case in particular. It's a matter of, grave governmental concern. And that message, however, seems to be lost on Eileen Cannon. We'll see what she does, and maybe more importantly, when she does it. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.